Hey, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Kontakt more efficiently when writing music. Now, sometimes it can get a little overwhelming when you've got a bunch of Kontakt windows open in your session, especially when you're writing with multiple instruments. So in this video, I'll walk you through how I set up one instance of Kontakt to handle multiple instruments efficiently. This will help you stay organized, speed up your workflow, and even reduce RAM usage. All right, let's get started. So let's start by loading up Kontakt in our instrument slot. Now, instead of just selecting stereo like you normally would, we're going to select multi-output 16 times stereo. What this means is that you can now load up to 16 instruments inside this one instance of Kontakt, instead of having to load 16 separate ones. This is going to save you a ton of system resources. For this example, I'm going to use CSS strings. I'm going to use first violins, cellos, and full ensemble. Next, let's go ahead and bring up the mixing window in our DAW. Here's a quick tip. In Logic Pro, to bring up your mixing window, all you have to do is press X. Now, if you look down at the bottom of this channel strip, you see a plus and minus sign. Let's press the plus sign 3 times. What we just did is create 3 auxiliary channels for our instruments. I'm going to go ahead and rename each aux channel so that they match the instruments we loaded. You don't have to do this for Kontakt to work this way. This just helps me keep everything organized. Now we need to bring these aux tracks into our main workspace. You can either select one by one or make it easier by highlighting all of them and just right click and choose Create Track. I'm going to hit X again to get rid of the mixing window. And now we have our aux tracks appear in our main workspace just like any other instrument track. All right, now let's move on to handling the MIDI routing. If we select first violins and look at the inspector window, you can see that Kontakt assigned the MIDI out channel for this instrument to channel 2. For cellos, it assigned it to MIDI out channel 3. And for full ensemble, it assigned it to MIDI out channel 4. Now, if you play one of the instruments, you'll notice that they're going through channel 1, which isn't what we want. Let me go ahead and play something on first violin so you can see. And what we want is for each individual instrument signal to go through its proper channel. So let's go back to Kontakt and we're going to select View, Outputs, and you'll see some output channels on the bottom here that resemble a mixer. Let's go to Presets/Batch Configuration, go to Factory, and select stereo 16 times. This automatically creates 16 output stereo channels. Now let's go back to each instrument here in Kontakt and manually assign the correct output to match the auxiliary input on the channel. So again, if you go back to first violins, Kontakt assigned the MIDI out channel to 2. You can see it right here, 2, and the input to 3 and 4. If you go back to the inspector window, you can see that the input is 3 and 4. So we want to go back to first violins and make sure that the MIDI out channel is set to 2 for the output and the MIDI channel. So on output, we click right here, out channel 2. Right here for MIDI channel, select port A from host and select 2 as well. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for cellos. Kontakt assigned it to MIDI out channel 3. So you can see it's 3. Input should be 5 and 6. Let's go back and check. 5 and 6. So let's go ahead and assign it to MIDI out channel 3. Out 3, port A from host, 3. And then we'll do the same thing for full ensemble. Kontakt assigned it MIDI out channel 4 and input 7 and 8. Down here you'll see MIDI out channel 4 and input 7 through 8. So we go up here and select out 4, MIDI channel, port A from host, 4. Once this is done, if you play each instrument, you should see the signal being routed through the correct channel in your mixer. As you saw as I played the first violins, the cellos, and the full ensemble, the signal was going through each channel independently now because our instruments match the inputs and outputs for each of these tracks, which means everything is routed properly and independently, which is exactly what we want. So by using one instance of Kontakt and enabling multi-stereo output, make sure your workflow is far more efficient. This method helps you reduce CPU and RAM usage dramatically. It also keeps your DAW organized with fewer Kontakt windows, and you can quickly balance, mix, and automate your instruments individually in MIDI within just one instance of Kontakt. So not only does this make writing music easier, but it also keeps your session running smoother, especially when you're working with large arrangements. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming tips on composing trailer music, sound design, and workflow efficiency. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.